Good evening and happy new year to everybody out there in speed gaming chatland. This is Ikbin Maya. You can just call me Maya though, and I'm joined this evening by my pal Edgeworth, my co-commissioner for this brand new Final Fantasy Randomizer League that we are launching today as of January 1st. Your VOD overlay there says that this is a part of the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. But that's not quite the case for this one. We're running a league for Final Fantasy Randomizer, and this is sort of our kickoff race. We have, last I checked, I think 20 plus people running the same seed this evening. We have 4 people in the race that we are sort of featuring as part of this race. The 4 people that are on are Artea, Terralyn, Tristal, and Files. But everything you're seeing here, there's another 17 runners running this seed as well, over on Speed Races as well. So with that start, I'm going to check on the race itself and make sure that everyone's ready to go. Edgeworth, do you want to talk to our crowd here a little bit about the seed that we're going to be running and the 4 forced characters and a little bit of what it is we're going to be looking for tonight?
So we are running the Final Fantasy Randomizer with the usual sort of randomizations enabled. So we've got all of the treasures are shuffled, the magic shops are shuffled, the shop contents are shuffled, the prices are shuffled, the abilities amongst all of the enemies are shuffled, and the stats of the enemies are shuffled as well. Now, what's interesting about this seed is we have low experience boost. Each enemy is worth 2.2 times their normal amount. The flags in the tournament hovered around 4 times experience plus a 400 flat boost. The runners are not going to have any of that today. And they also have to contend with a completely forced party. Now, the 4 party members that are forced today are the Black Belt, the Red Mage, and 2 Black Mages, meaning out of the gate, they'll be pretty well equipped with offensive capability, but the White Magic is entirely up to what the Red Mage has available.
And as we see the race start, we have Ice 3 and Lightning 3, all important area of effect black magic spells available right at the beginning for those double black mages. They're going to love that. On the white magic side, this is equally important. I only saw Heal, Harm 2, A-Fire, and Lamp available, so no healing except for that little heal spell available as we start. Rapier, Wooden Staff, and another small weapon was available there as well. Edgeworth, what do you think of all of that as we get going here?
So the black magic looks pretty good. The white magic, not so much. I know all of the runners are definitely going to be looking for life 2. That's going to be priority, and then maybe Cure 4 or Heal 3 as well.
And we're following the audio of Artea up in the upper left here to start. I believe Tristal got a bit of a jump on him and is heading up to the Temple of Fiends first. There is an early bridge this seed too, so it'll be very interesting to see if some of the runners decide to just bypass Garland entirely to start and run over to Provoca first. Let's look like that's exactly what Tristal is doing. He said bye-bye to Garland and is running to Provoca first.
Yeah, and it looks like Files is going to do the fight some imps first, and Terralyn is a little bit behind, having to remake the party. And it looks like Artea is going to take the early bridge as well.
Tristal looking at the Pirates to start here. Pirates so far not showing that they know any spells or skills, and the Red Mage gets Ice 3 off. That's going to get Tristal an early ship here. Artea crossing the bridge early as well. Off he goes. Haven't seen anybody take a peek up at Temple of Fiends and Garland yet.
Artea tried and then found out that spiders do not like him very much.
Well, and most people don't like spiders either, so that's perfectly fine. Tristal gets his ship and is going to take a peek first at the armor shop on the lower left-hand side. Just some gloves and a silver shield. Nobody is too excited by that. There's the bottle. Bottle is at max price, 65,000 gold to pick up that bottle. which you're going to need later. So everybody should be making a note of that. Terralyn is going to give us a shot here at Temple of Fiends, and we'll see what are in those 3 chests on the left side.
And it looks like imps have X-Fur, but no follow-up, so that works out pretty well. That first chest is a Pro Ring. Very nice to have early.
Not a whole lot in Provoca today for spells. Tristal's going to go back up to the white magic side. There was a Heal 2 spell available, and also Harm 4. That'd be great for killing off squads of undeads. And the Heal 2 might be interesting as well. But in these low boost, low gold, low experience seeds, you're watching Tristal starting to grind here a little bit for some gold. This is by design. This seed is designed to test the runner's ability to gain some gold and gain some experience in out of the ordinary places, so that they can use all of the tools available to them in this randomizer.
As things stand right now, Tara's in a bit of trouble with only the red mage left versus Garland. So if Garland has anything particularly nasty, this might not be a completable fight. Also, important to note, the magic selection in the white magic shop in Provoca is less than desirable, primarily because the red mage can learn all of the spells at level 2 for white magic, and not having life or life 2 land in the level 2 shop means that they have fewer options as far as the white magic goes.
Yeah, so they're running out of spaces already where that those all-important life magic charges could land in a place where those red mages could learn.
All right, so we have the first kill of Garland on the stream. Terralyn takes Garland down, and she gets the loot.
Tristal sailing around now. Going to go ahead and check out Matoya's cave. Matoya has 3 chests on the left side. They're looking for not only the standard progression item here is the TNT that you're searching for. They're also looking for resources. Every little bit of gold in these low boost seeds are super useful. And so even 2,100 gold is not something to sniff at, as well as 5,400. Other sorts of seeds you would watch Tristal probably just reset out of that, but 7,000 gold is nothing to sniff at here.
Yeah, and especially with the low boost, that's going to hurt Files, who has 2 characters petrified right now. Only has the black mages alive.
Files in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, finding something with Stone Touch. His party is turning into a set of attractive statuettes as we watch. Meanwhile, the Imps no flash for Tristal on the left-hand side. Artea is going to take a look at Matoya's cave. I don't believe we've seen anybody go to the dwarves yet. The dwarves also hold 2 chests full of resources that our runners will want to grab.
That wouldn't surprise me if Tristal is headed there shortly. And I believe it is the wolves that have Stone Touch.
Awesome. So our favorite friendly Rurus are not so friendly this seed.
Yep, and there goes Files straight to the item shop, and some of that money is going to go down the drain right here.
You know, soft potions at 391 is not totally awful. Also taking a look at those houses at less than 1,000 apiece. Housing market is pretty cheap. That's going to be pretty valuable for these runners.
Looks like, meanwhile, Artea has kind of adopted the usual strategy of killing one of the party members off first. There's a black mage that is just face down in the dirt right now.
Tristal finds a pack of Kizoku, who you will remember from Vanilla Final Fantasy as being nice to grind because they give you a little bit of experience in gold. That 480 gold that Tristal just picked up is going to be useful. Nobody's gone down to Elfland yet. Nobody's gone to the dwarves yet. We have not found any progression items yet. And so all eyes are on those dwarves to see whether or not this is a Marsh Cave required seed.
Yeah, and it looks like Files is going to take a crack at Temple of Fiends now that he's higher level. In the meantime, question in chat: what are wolves or stone touch? Wolves are a very common enemy in the early game, and stone touch is an effect received from an attack from an enemy, and it's basically if an enemy with stone touch does a physical attack against you, there's a chance that he can petrify you.
And welcome to everybody filtering in, and Happy New Year to all of you. You're watching the Final Fantasy Randomizer League. This is our sort of our kickoff for this year. We have 20 racers running this seed simultaneously. We've picked out 4 of them to go ahead and feature on this restream broadcast. The Final Fantasy Randomizer League has 46 participants in it. We're going to be running 8 stages worth of challenge flags over the next 3 months. Everything from a low boost seed to what you're watching now. We're going to be running 4 white mage seeds. We're going to be running treasure chest hunt seeds, as well as some other challenge flags as well. So you're going to see us periodically here on Speed Gaming and other sort of speedrunning channels running these races for you to watch.
Peninsula Power not being very kind to Tristal successfully dealt with a pack of Frost Wolves, I believe, but turns out that the Zombies have Dazzle as their first ability and like casting it a lot.
Giants are always super welcome to find here, though. If Tristal can kill this off, here he goes. Nope. 2 hits for 6 damage isn't going to do it. Giants are really nice to grind here at the beginning. They offer a large amount of experience and gold.
Yeah, good to find them. Good to find that it was only 2 as well, while his party was that low level. Now that he's at level 6, he can perhaps take on a group of 4 giants.
Artea nearing the dwarf cave. Files right behind him. So we will see what the dwarves are holding for our runners today. Files is there first. Lower right-hand corner of the screen, you find both the TNT and the black shirt. So Lazy Dwarf Seed, you're going to watch Files run all the way down to trade that in as soon as possible. And the black shirt, Edgeworth, is also just a beautiful pickup.
Yeah, it will allow the black belt to have an AoE attack, which is very good early and very good in the volcano. Black shirt, wonderful to find early. And the TNT early means that our runners don't have to do Marsh Cave at all, unless there's a progression item in there, of course, but they can come back later when they're higher level.
So TNT at around 10 minutes is pretty friendly to these runners in this low boost seed, which could prove to be quite dangerous and deadly as we go down through the seed. So Edge, this opens up the canal, which allows the ship to leave the inner sea a little bit early. What's your thought now as to what to do here in a low boost seed? What's your next target?
So with cheap houses and a lot of casts of ice, I would head straight for the volcano. Also an option, because of early harm 4, might be Ordeals, although that's less appealing knowing that the Zombies have Dazzle and like to stunlock your party.
Wolf's showing that they know Brack, which is kind of hilarious because Brack is a bit of a meme here for our community. I see X-Cryptics in chat. Hello to you. Yes, we do run Final Fantasy Randomized. In fact, we have 20 people running this race right now. How long does a run take usually? Depends really on the level of randomization, the amount of experience you're getting out of each encounter. I would say anywhere between 2 hours, but for this seed, this could go anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours. So if you're just settling in, go ahead and grab a frosty beverage and turn off the football and watch Final Fantasy Randomizer instead.
I'm good on football. My team snuck into the playoffs. Alternality with the 2-month sub. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime resub. Much appreciated.
Artea heading straight westward for Crescent Lake to pick up the early canoe. Haven't seen anybody pop into Elfland yet. There are the level 3 and level 4 spells available down there. And it looks like we're going to see Terrelin do an early dive over to Earth Cave, which will be super interesting. Okay, so Files is going to get us a look here at lower right-hand side. Not a whole lot available for the level 3 Black Magic shop. Looking now for White Magic. First and third, you got Pure and Cure 2 that the Red Mage can learn. Again, looking more and more likely, Edgeworth, that we're not going to have life in a very useful place this seed.
Oh, there it is!
And of course, the second I say it, there it is at the level 4 magic shop. You see Files instantly pick that up.
And Temper as well. So, some very useful stuff at level 4. Also, Anbu Nightwolf, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub as well.
Files doing his spell shopping here. He's going to take a peek into the item shop. Not a whole lot there of interest, except for 10, 11 gold coins a piece is going to be super useful.
Question in chat, what is Tristal's logic in doing a Peninsula instead of an Agama grind? I think Tristal is trying to get some levels early in order to get money to buy things in Elfland. Money with the lack of gold and experience boost is a little tight with this flag set, and as a result, some of the runners prefer to do a little bit of leveling earlier than they normally would in order to get some money early. Another question in chat, are the runners leaving their characters dead on purpose? Yes, and the experience is not distributed to dead characters, so it will make leveling more efficient for the other 3 characters at the expense of the character who's dead.
Question in chat from Gunny5. Just got here. What's with Artea's BB sprite? His black belt, he's using a custom sprite for his black belt.
And Artea finds the legendary EXPs, and it looks like he is going to do the 2-man grind, or at least attempt to. And nope, they're not cooperating.
That didn't work very well.
Might work a little better with 2 peds. Nope.
So the EXP's proving unfriendly to Artea. They're just hitting just a little bit too hard for a red mage and a low-level black belt. Terrelin's still taking a peek at chests over in the Earth Cave. Didn't see a whole lot that she wanted to hold on to. So first level of Earth Cave, not too valuable here for the runners.
Yeah, and I don't mind the play to check out the first level of Earth if you can get there without taking any encounters. But the first walk immediately after power cycling is not too great, so I think that would have been one that I would have skipped until after I got the airship.
Tristal knocking down Garland, grabbing his loot. With the early bridge, that's a serious consideration you need to think about. You can, I guess you could leave Garland to the very end of the game if you wanted to, because you obviously can't finish it without killing him. But with that early bridge, you get to watch runners do things out of order.
Yeah, Artea getting preemptive on this group of peds, and that should take him to another level easily. Very nice encounter tracking by Artea to realize that Group 1 encounters were immediately after power on, and that allows him to force ped encounters immediately after a power cycle.
And he's using that knowledge to great effect here. EXPs are legendary in higher boost seeds. They work beautifully in a low boost seed too. You'll be able to rack up some experience and get some gold before you go wander over to the volcano. In these seeds, we do have 2 incentivized dungeon locations. Both the Ice Cave and Castle Ordeals have an incentivized chest that is a chest with something super interesting at the bottom of both of those dungeons. And so we will probably watch a lot of these runners go take a peek into them as well.
All right, Tristal has cashed in the TNT and will now be heading to Crescent Lake to pick up the canoe. Files has also discovered the EXPs after Power Cycle.
So, Edge, would you say then that with the mix of spells that we found so far, especially Ice 3, all the way back at level 1, that this is pretty much a no-brainer to go try the volcano first?
Personally, I always like to go to the volcano first, but I think the spells that have been found play very well at the volcano. There could be an argument made for Ordeals first as well. Lit 3 and Ice 3 aren't too bad at thinning out groups of Medusas, and Harm 4 is very good against the Zombies. Just a matter of how annoying they're going to be with multiple casts of Dazzle.
Question in chat from OPT Lawyer, what does incentivized mean? It's not necessarily a guaranteed progression item in an incentivized chest, but it is something that you're going to be super happy to find. And so the pool of items includes the Masamune, the Power Gauntlet, which is fixed here in Randomizer and incredibly useful. Any of the ribbons are available. One of them is in an incentivized chest. As well as, let's see, what am I missing, Edge?
Ribbon, Mazmune, progression items. So I think he covered pretty much everything. We haven't put the 10 gold chest in, despite the request.
We should do that with the Price is Right womp womp music. We have two of our runners doing an early EXP grind. Go ahead, Edge.
I was just going to say, Tarlin finds out that the Sea Hags have cremate, and she just resets. And I think we're going to have EXP grinds from 3 of the runners in a bit. Very interesting to see that Files has not killed anyone off, but Artea has killed off both of the black mages. Certainly curious to see which of these approaches will pay off in the long run.
So a bit of a reset for everybody while we're doing a bit of an EXP grind. This is a Final Fantasy Randomizer League race. There are 20 people in the race at present. You're watching 4 of them that we've decided to feature for this sort of inaugural kickoff race here on Speed Gaming. This is a low boost seed, and so if you've watched some of our randomizer tournament runs before, you're used to watching our runners get just kind of crazy amounts of experience and gold per encounter. We've dialed that back a little bit, back to 2.2 times the original encounter rate. There is no additional gold or experience boost past that. And so you're watching our racers here use some more relatively unorthodox strategies to find that experience and that gold so that they can get through some of these dungeons more safely. Artea taken the southern sea route to go visit Elfland.
And that looks like that may be an Ordeals play for Artea. Take all the money gained from the EXP grind, go buy whatever is available in Elfland, and then head down to Ordeals.
Villainous Fiend, you're asking who's winning. There's really not... nobody really has poked their head out in the lead here yet. All 4 of these runners are pretty much neck and neck. And we're about to watch these runners kind of route diverge, so to speak. For example, Tristal's sailing off to the east-southeast, which makes me think he might also go Ordeals here relatively early.
Yeah, Tristal usually goes to Ordeals. I think for Artea's routing, that's an ideal place as well. I think Files move into the Volcano is probably the best out of them, but we'll see how that plays out.
So we have Files 25 in the lower right-hand corner. He's heading to the Gurgu Volcano, where the Fire Fiend carry awaits, as well as a whole host of chests, about 30 or so. Tristal and Arte are sort of angling in a different direction. They're going to go over to Castle Ordeals. Less chests there in Castle Ordeals, but there is a guaranteed incentivized chest there.
So this might be a little more dangerous for Artea, given the fact that the Zombies will have an easier time stun locking the party, and also with no access to warp, the teleporter maze could be particularly cruel. And so far, Artea has been dumped to the exit twice already.
Here come the Medusas. We'll take a peek at them and see if they have anything awful. Nope, he gets away from the first set. And there goes Tristal down in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. He's going to go ahead and join Artea and Ordeals.
It looks like Files did not heal up after running on those lava tiles and manages to get away from the Wizogre Hyena fight. One fire elemental is good because they hit really hard, and it's good to not have two of them punching you repeatedly, especially when they have very high health.
And those black mages are pretty underleveled at this point. Would not take much to take one of them down. Files finds a ribbon right off the bat, and so that's one of the three ribbons that give you status immunity in the game. That's a wonderful pickup, and that probably opens some doors here for a possible grind for levels.
And oh geez, the hyenas have fire too, so that's why all four of his party members were so low. Be interesting to see how many heal potions he decides to burn just to try to make it out. Looks like he's going to heal up the black mages, probably because they have a higher chance to run. Question in chat, is there a certain route or is it RNG? With respect to the teleporters and ordeals, they are randomized. Normally in the vanilla version, you take the pillar that is in the lowest position, but that does not work in the randomizer.
Tristal running into a pack of mummies here down on the lower left of your screen. Mummies, this is actually kind of a nice encounter to get if you can get one of your mages to start firing, but it looks like he's going to run away from it instead.
Yeah, and I think it might have been safer just to take that fight, but I guess not having a light axe or a mage staff to put on the black belt, he elects to just run. Question in chat, new to the randomizer tournaments, anywhere I can read up, check out the link that was just posted by Nightbot in chat. That will take you to the information link about the Final Fantasy I randomizer tournament. And Maya, would it be possible to post the link to the league description as well?
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
So Artea meets untimely demise in Ordeal. but it looks like Tristal got through the nightmare fight all right. And take a look at what the chests on the top floor have.
And in case you're wondering there, I think we just switched over to Tristal's audio on the lower left, and he finds the floater, and it's not in the incentivized chest. So there's still a goodie to find here later.
And the crown. So we have a very loaded Ordeals, and this is going to pay off handsomely for Tristal and Artea.
So floater and crown in Ordeals, which opens up all sorts of options here for our runners. Floater is going to grant you the airship, and then the crown is going to grant you all sorts of, once you go ahead and you do the crown unlock over to the Mystic Key, is going to open up some interesting areas for our runners to look through.
Files finds the defense sword, which is going to come in handy for the final push through Temple of Fiends Revisited. And Artea is through to the chests as well, having taken out the nightmares. Looks like Files is joined by Tarlin in the Volcano as well. She'll be picking up her ribbon shortly, and we'll see if any of the monsters in the Volcano are good for a solo black belt grind. So looks like Files took a death after clearing out the small treasury on this floor. So he's going to pick up the flame sword and the defense sword again. Lots of gear for a fighter as well, so that won't see very much use. The Sahags have a very annoying assortment of abilities, and Tristal fails to run. Gets away that time.
Terralyn also finding out that the hyenas are no fun to play with today with their Fire 2 spell. So Artea and Tristal, finding a couple of progression items in Ordeals, have sort of edged out in front here a little bit. Tristal's grabbing his airship and is on his way. Edge, what do you think are his stops here? And then where does he go next?
So I think the usual route for finding the floater pretty early is to go get all of the free chests that you can. So in the case of Tristal, I think he will check the Titan's Tunnel chests out, then head up to Cardia Island, check those chests out. Somewhere in there, also route in all of the crown chests as well. Now, there's a lot of equipment to find, and maybe finding the Mazmune may change his decision-making as far as whether he wants to do a black belt grind or just stick the Mazmune on the black belt and treat him as a poor man's fighter.
So we're 30 minutes in now, so I'll do a quick game recap for everyone here. First off, Happy New Year to everybody on Speed Gaming. Happy 2018. This is going to be an incredible year for Speed Gaming. So you're starting your year off right. This is a Final Fantasy Randomizer League race. I do know on the lower right there it says Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament, but this is a league race. We've made a league for the next 3 months, and there are 20 racers running this seed right now. This is a low boost seed, and all 4 party characters are forced. And so everybody's running the same party, same seed. This is a 2.2 times experience seed, which is a little bit lower than some of our other seeds. And so our runners are dealing with a little bit less experience and less gold than you might normally have seen in some of our other seeds. The TNT was found quite early in this seed. The dwarves were holding it. And then Castle Ordeals has been the place to be after that. Castle Ordeals has both the floater and the crown, which has allowed our runners there, Artea and Tristal, to grab an early bottle. And so that's kind of where we stand at this point. The only other major progression item we've found so far is the bottle. The bottle will cost you 65,000 gold, and it's sitting in Provoca waiting to be bought.
And looks like Tarlin barely escaped the volcano and is relying on that black mage to drag the corpses of the rest of the party back to town. Meanwhile, Files is diving further into the volcano. Let's not also forget that the volcano holds a ribbon in a chest that is likely not going to get checked if Arte and Tristal are in go mode. So that's an advantage that they have for going to volcano first, and a white shirt as well.
So I'm going to drop a couple of links in chat here that talks about the Final Fantasy Randomizer League. The first one there is just an introduction to the Final Fantasy Randomizer League, and it will let our viewers know a little bit about the league structure and some of the seeds and stages that the league will be going through over the next several months. We do have 46 members in the league that are all competing against each other for the right to be crowned Season 1 champion at the end of the 3-month period.
All right, Tristal about to rob the dwarves, and so far finds 1 gold and a copper bracelet, so crime doesn't pay here. I think the highlight is the Bane sword and that giant pile of gold, neither of which are interesting to Tristal, so over to Canaria Castle.
In the second link that I just put in chat, there is the league standings and all of the members that are in the league. We did have a New Year's Eve ball drop kickoff race last night with 11 runners, and our racer Len the Cat surprised a lot of really experienced runners and came away with a victory. It's sort of like golf rules. The lowest score you can get will be a winning score. So if you win a race, you score 0. And then everybody else scores a percentage of points over and above the winning person's time. And so if you took 2% over the winner's time to finish your seed, then you get 0.02 points, and so on and so forth.
So not much exciting in the Canaria Treasury as well. Tristal is now going to stop up and take a look at what is in Temple of Fiends and reset out if there's nothing there, and then head up to Cardia Island. Meanwhile, Files has found the slab in Volcano. So we have all of the progression items required to finish. We know where they are, and it's just a matter of Files. If he goes to Ordeals after this, he'll be in go mode. Looks like Agamas have in the neighborhood of 300 HP, so not too bad. And it looks like Files is trying to play it safe by keeping the entire party alive, burning a lot of ice charges. Very curious to see how he decides to approach the Carry fight. Carry does not care very much for any of your elemental magic, has resistances to fire, ice, and lightning, and can be a very tough opponent this early on in the game.
Power bonk discovered down in the lower left-hand corner. The Cardia Islands are holding it. So Files has the slab. Artea and Tristal are both holding the Mystic Key in the floater, and so nobody is calling go mode yet. but we, the viewers here, have found everything we need to go ahead and unlock every dungeon in the game and progress 37 minutes in.
Yeah, and so as far as the incentive chest in the Ice Cave, it could be the third ribbon, which we have seen 2 already, the Masmu, or the Ruby, or the Adamant, or the Tail. Some of those significantly more helpful than others.
Tristal hot on the heels of Files here in the Volcano, and is going to check Volcano chests. And so he's going to be probably, barring some untimely wipes here, probably the first person to go ahead and put together a full set of progression items.
It looks like Files is going to do an Agama grind, but not kill off all of his party. Interesting move. See how that works out. He is a little low on heal potions, down to 28. So maybe he just wants to get some group experience before going and fighting Carrie. Or he could go fight Carrie now, in which case that's going to be temper charges stacked on a red mage with. This is going to be very interesting. I'm not sure. This is ambitious on File's part, but if the turn order falls right, I think he could pull this off. But this is going to be tough.
So over on the lower right-hand corner of your screen is where the action's going to be. Files is a low-leveled Files party taking on Carrie the Fire Fiend here. This needs to go in the correct order for Files to have a chance.
And Carrie hits the Black Mage, but does not kill the Black Mage. So that's at least good news. It looks like just spamming Ice 3 is going to be the way to go. But it's good to see that Carrie did not roll an absurd amount of strength to start off.
The stats for this randomizer, seed is anywhere up to 220% of original strength. And so even a 220% carry can pack an amazing punch.
With each charge of the white shirt going off, though, significantly reduces Carrie's ability to do damage. Meanwhile, Tristal has taken out a pair of fires, and looks like he's already got the ribbon from the right-hand side. Ooh, Carrie hiding Thunder and not showing it up until right now. Takes out the last Black Mage. The other one barely lives with 10 points of health.
So Files is doing chip damage here, bit by bit, trying to use those Ice 3 charges and black shirts, anything he can find to get a handle on the Fire Fiend here.
2 hits for 53, so a good crit from the black belt. And it's like everybody is just going all out offense here, and as long as Carrie keeps missing, this will work. Tristal might be close to taking a wipe, but survives a cast of poison thanks to that early ribbon. And speaking of poison,
right?
So not much in the way of options for Files. Just has to hold A and hope to win. Thunder, Poison, and Blizzard. Wow.
File's really hoping that Carrie just keeps swinging and missing here. That's the only way he's going to get through this. A flame sword doing work.
Yeah, Files has invested a lot of time into this. Good thing that ink didn't hit. And oh, that's gonna hurt.
All right, and so there's a wipe from Files on the lower right-hand side of your screen. And so that will put him back a little bit on time. He's going to go ahead and nope out of this. He knows that the slab is there, but that's not the progression item he's looking for. And so he's, instead of going back into the volcano, he's going to go ahead and leave.
Might not be a bad idea if you can come back to the volcano and execute just a grind and pick up the slab. It might save him some time, although just the length of that carry fight alone is going to be very, very costly. And looks like we have first forfeit of the race, Czar dropping out with the usual amount of ZARNG.
He calls it improbable ZARNG. So we'll probably see him appear here in chat shortly. Maybe he can let us know what happened. So that was 20 racers. Now we only have 19 left in the race. Surprise Pie, I saw your question scroll by earlier asking what round seeds these are. It's not necessarily a tournament round seed. This is sort of a rolled stage 1 seed for our new Final Fantasy Randomizer League. Terralyn finding the crown up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. I'll go ahead and I'll post the link to the league schedule again, so you can take a look. This is stage 1, and it's a low boost seed.
So we have Terralyn with the floater and the crown. Just has one zombie D to beat before getting out with the goods. Files is going to head to Ice Cave, and given that he does not have the levels from the volcano that he gained, this could be a little difficult. Looks like Artea did not pick up Lightning 3 and is currently paying for that against this pack of wizards, and probably good that it wasn't 7 wizards, but the minimum 3. Looks like Tristal did a bit of shopping before going back into the volcano. I think by process of elimination, he knew where the gold bracelets and the pro rings were, so he is much better equipped for a deep dive into the volcano.
Meanwhile, Artea has met the eye, which means that we might be watching an eye grind here. And I don't know if he's checked the chest yet, so let's take a peek here at the incentivized chest. And he found the tail.
So the tail might be good if fast landed in a spot that the red wizard can learn it, but through, I think, 6 magic shops, we have not seen it yet, so chances are very low.
Terralyn, meanwhile, in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, opting for a zombie D grind for a little bit here. This is kind of what you expect to see in these lower boost seeds. Artea's doing an eye grind, Terralyn's doing a zombie D grind. We'll see if anybody does an Agma grind here or not, but with the lower amount of experience and gold that you get, you do get to watch runners employ some different grinding techniques.
Yeah, Artea usually goes for a mid-range strategy, which involves doing certain grinds here and there. Certainly not all the way to like level 32 or 42, but just enough to pick up spell charges, which he can then use to do some more grinds and pick up more fights along the way. So, for example, going through C, he can afford to burn some lightning charges on a Gershark Big Eye fight, which is very good for experience. Whereas someone who needs to conserve spell charges may run away from that. Files takes a peek in the mage chest, finds a whole lot of nothing. Artea is still doing the eye grind, and Tristal is about to find the slab.
There's that slab get, and so we're at 48 minutes, and the first runner on stream here has pretty much all of the items needed for go mode, save the bottle that Tristal needs to go ahead and pick up, but I'm sure he saw that go by. And so we have a quasi go mode from Tristal on the lower left-hand corner of your screen, and now we're going to see if we see an Agama grind.
I think it's very likely that we see an Agama grind from Tristal. The question is how high to go, and I think a Agama grind to 32 is going to be what we see. Now, the more interesting thing is Tristal does not have to check the Red Dragon chest at all, currently being in go mode and having a ribbon already.
And it does look like the Agamas are pretty safe to grind this seed. I haven't seen them do anything frightening yet.
Yeah, they do have their typical 2 hits, but it looks like they haven't rolled very high on their offense, which is good to see. Heal 2, that Heal 2 pickup on the Red Mage is currently paying off here as well. Terralyn is going to take to the skies and check out what is for sale in Gaia. And we have level 7 warp.
Okay, so she gained that little bit of knowledge, knowing that warp will be useful if the tail can be found. We'll see whether or not she goes to Ice Cave. First, she's going to go ahead and check the islands. She'll find her power bonk or power gauntlet as well. Files nearing where Artea is now, and may engage in a little bit of an eye grind himself.
Also important to note that Tristal, having found all 3 progression items, is in go mode before going to Ice Cave. So he will gain a significant advantage as Artea and Files both have to full clear Volcano. Files running into a group of wizards as well, but they are less bothersome for his group than they were for Artea. And Artea has to do the long walk out, not having access to exit or warp.
And hello again to everybody. This is the Final Fantasy Randomizer League you are watching, and Happy New Year to all of you, and a happy 2018. This is a great opportunity to add a subscription to Speed Gaming and start your 2018 off right with a sub to this channel. Also, give our 4 runners a follow. Artea, Tristal, Files, and Terralyn are doing a low boost seed for you, and we're the only show in town tonight on Speed Gaming. So give our runners a follow for the entertainment, and give a follow over to our friend Trenton, our tracker this evening, for his work as well.
And so there's a question about what does go mode mean? Do they have all the items required to beat the game? Yes, but some players may be in go mode by progression items, but not be in go mode by equipment. And sort of the best example I can think of is if you end up with Master Sword and no silver arrows and Link to the Past randomizer, maybe you want to open some more chests for that tempered sword. In the case of Final Fantasy randomizer, typically you will see runners maybe not find a ribbon, which grants elemental resistance. Very important item, and a lot of runners don't feel comfortable going into the final dungeon without one of those.
Artea, post-class change with the fancy upgraded party members now, going back and buying some spells that he couldn't pick up beforehand. For example, there's Invis 2 and Exit, super useful for a Red Wizard.
Looks like the Red Wizard could not pick up Exit. Surprised that he didn't pick up Ruse, but maybe Invis 2 and Ruse in the same slot didn't feel like that was worth it.
Artea going back into Crescent Lake to take a look at the spells available there. Terralyn, meanwhile, is back over at Provoca. She's going to go pick up the bottle. She'll be the first person to grab this progression item.
And it looks like Nuke is out of the question for the Red Wizard as well. However, Ice 3, Lit 3, and Fire 3. So Artea can mix and match pretty well depending on the type of opponent he's facing.
Great, so Nico, I see your question in the chat there. So what is this, just weekly races for points? Kind of. We're doing a different set of flags for challenge races, and they switch up every 2 weeks. Right now we have 46 people that have joined the league for the first 8 stages. And then at the end of the 8 stages, the person with the lowest overall score, think of it like a golf score, the lowest overall score, which means that they did the best in all of their races, will be crowned the Season 1 champion. Terralyn about to join Artea and Tristal in the volcano to go ahead and finish this out. Files is the outlier that we have on the screen right now. Files has already been to the volcano and unfortunately met an untimely end thanks to Carry the Fire Fiend. And so he is engaging in a bit of an eye grind, has already been to the volcano once. We'll probably see Files go to Ordeals next.
Yeah, that seems to be the most likely place if you're looking for the one incentive item, particularly the floater, or the one progression item. Checking the incentive chest is the way to go. Question in chat, do dead party members get experience? They do not, so that's why Files is currently down to 2 party members, and Tristal will be down to 1 in a bit.
So chat, this is a good time in any of the Final Fantasy randomizer races to ask your questions. If you have any questions, especially for my pal Edge here, who's way more expert at this game than I am. If you have any questions about the randomizer itself, anything that the runners are doing, questions about life, what your resolution is for 2018, go ahead and fire those off into chat now. Well, Medrise, I can answer that question for you. You say, did you miss anything exciting? The TNT was being held by the dwarves. The dwarves were super lazy today and had the progression item they were looking for. The floater and the crown, 2 major progression items, are both hiding in Castle Ordeals. The bottle is in Provoca. And the slab is here in the volcano where 3 of our runners are right now. And that will get you all of the required progression items, the randomized ones, in order to finish the game. The only person on screen right now that has a complete set of all of these is Tristal. Tristal is only lacking the bottle, but knows where the bottle is. And so Tristal is sort of quasi call to go mode here and is doing a grind. But we have several other racers here that are right on his tail, so to speak.
And so we've got another question in chat. What's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? And it's 42, and that's because that's the level the black belt gets 10 hits. It's a significantly more powerful level than from the black belt going from 21 to 32.
Eternal Tomato asking, do the runners get to choose their own characters, or is that assigned to them? Eternal Tomato, first off, happy 2018 to you. And second, it depends on what the flags are. For this run that they're doing, all 4 characters were forced. And so this is a seed where all of the runners have to use the exact same party. And so that it's sort of a level playing field from that perspective.
So as things stand right now, it looks like Files is setting up for a 2-person grind, basically taking Artea's strategy, but just focusing on getting all of the levels right now. Kind of too early to tell which way is the right way to go, but Artea has a lot more experience into the red mage and the black mage, the black belt, but significantly less experience in any of the other characters. So if having those 2 extra black mages would help in Temple of Fiends, Artea is going to be in a little bit of trouble.
I did see Cecile's question go back, asking what the sexiest party composition was. I think the answer to that, of course, is that sexiness is in the eye of the beholder. And so, Cecile, the sexiest party composition is the one that you're running.
And thank you to Claw Frank for the Twitch Prime subscription. Always appreciate folks supporting Speed Gaming, so thank you very much.
And so here goes Artea now, trying to take out Carrie the Fire Fiend. We've already seen Files wipe on Carrie once here. Carrie has a lot of hit points, we know that, as well as poison, blizzard, thunder, and Lord knows what else hiding in her spell repertoire. So let's see what happens here.
Ellen Dar, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription as well. A little bit of a sub train going on. Thank you very much for the sub. And it looks like Files, the red mage got petrified at some point, and I'm not sure what that was from, whether that was the eye grind or another enemy in the ice cave, but he's playing with a little bit of fire now, continuing this grind.
Artea takes down Carrie the Fire Fiend. That is the first orblet for any of the runners we're featuring here. And so Artea takes a lead in Fiend dungeons and has all of the required items he's looking for. Tristal, opting to stick around and continue the Agama grind, is going to beef that black belt probably up to 42 edge, you think?
I think with the percentages that Tristal's very likely to stop at 32. And I think the grind from 32 to 42 with these flags might be a bit prohibitive. Another thing to consider as well with the low experience boost is how much you have in the way of potions, because a longer grind, if you're fighting more Agamas, or more of any of the enemy that you're currently grinding, it's going to require more heal potions, and I don't know how many heal potions Tristal has left at the moment. With Artea being in go mode, it looks like he's just going to take out all of the dungeons in order. So for routing, this is the most efficient way to go, but I like to save Earth for last because if I have more levels, the enemies in Earth are more likely to run away than any of the other enemies in the game.
So we've switched audio back over to Artea's stream since Artea is eked out into the lead here just a little bit, and is now so now we're following Artea through the Earth Cave. Meanwhile, right next to him is Terralyn taking on Carrie, who's proving difficult to take down here.
Yeah. So another question in chat: are the bosses randomized as well? They are, but there are certain rules about how they're randomized. The bosses in Temple of Fiends and Warmech all have their abilities randomized, but only amongst themselves, so that some of the more powerful abilities like nuclear, swirl, or tornado don't end up on a common enemy. So it makes the exploration of the world a little easier, but it tends to make Temple of Fiends a lot deadlier, as there are some very, very nasty spells floating around in that spell pool. So on the bottom half of the screen, the grind continues, and on the top half of the screen, we have a couple of fights, one against a Fiend and another against a pack of wizards.
While loving these sleep 2 strats, I'm watching Terralyn try to employ. Oh, there comes Thunder. That'll take the black mage out. But this red mage has tempered up, and there goes Carrie.
And important thing to note if in that Carrie fight is all of those tiles in the in Carrie's room are not safe tiles, so it is very easy to get another encounter immediately after fighting Carrie. So a little bit of a gamble by Tara, but nothing terrible happened. But entirely possible for you to run into 2 fire elementals and just get destroyed immediately after fighting the Fiend of Fire.
Terralyn opting now to run with a 3-party composition, leave the other black mage down.
And I think the 3-party composition is probably the way to go. Although I see an argument for Artea wanting to have a lot of experience in both the red mage and the black belt. But I think after a certain point, you do want to have another contributor on the team. So maybe res the black mage going into Sea Shrine. It's another person that can cast Lit 3. Help you get through the nasty unrunnables there. And so, a question in chat: given the grind for Trystal, what is he betting on? I don't think he's betting on anything other than Temple of Fiends being Temple of Fiends, its usual nasty self. Taking the black belt to 32 means that he's going to have somebody that can deal a fair amount of damage without any sort of equipment necessary. And just stacking tempers on an 8-hit black belt should get the job done. Yeah, it's a good comment in chat, Praxia. I don't think Artea is going to res one of the black mages either, but I think it would be a good idea to do that. Very likely, though, Artea is going to go all the way into Temple of Fiends without resing anybody. And he's headed to the item shop in Provoca to pick up the bottle right now. So 2 fiends down for Artea, 1 fiend down for Tara. and Files has finished his grind and is heading out of the ice cave right now.
Of course, he finds that Gerpedes have Stone Touch as soon as he tries to run away.
So, good experience onto the black belt, but now he is in a little bit of trouble because he's going to get wrecked by a 7 wizard party. So I think at this point he just needs to get lucky and dodge some nasty encounters on the way out. And lead-off run failure. But it looks like the mummies and these enemies are not doing very much damage. So if he can just see just these encounters on the way out, he should be fine. But he does not want to see wizards at all. Artea running into one of the rare overworld unrunnables. Frost Wolves and Frost Giants can also be found outside of Onrak, so a little important to stick to the river if you are not going to be spamming tents and cabins on the way up to the waterfall.
And up to the waterfall we go. There are 6 chests here, and you do need the cube. The cube is a required progression item that allows you to enter the Sky Castle later on in the game. And so this is a place you need to go. I do not believe, though, that Artea has either exit or warp. And so you're going to do the highly... Oh, there's a gas dragon encounter. There's another rare encounter at this stage in the game. He's going to have to do the unenviable reverse run out of the waterfall here.
So Files manages to escape the ice cave, but runs into this Hydra, and it looks like he's had just about enough of his nonsense. Tristel's still doing the Agama grind, and I think Artea is going to pick up some fights if they're efficient along the way here. Kind of thinking of the Wizmummy fight, if there's a lot of Wizmummies and maybe these mud goals as well. They're significantly less intimidating in the randomizer. Question in chat. Does someone know what the record of speedrunning is for Final Fantasy 1? For the vanilla version, Geyer has the record. It's sub 3. I don't remember the actual number. And for the randomizer, Miat has the record with a time of 1:15. If you're interested in knowing more about the Final Fantasy Randomizer League, feel free to click those links there that Zardia, our co-commissioner, just posted up there. Thanks for adding that command, Zar. So, Tristel makes short work of Carry the Fire Fiend. Is going to pick up the rest of his party and head on out. Looks like he's leaving one of the black mages dead. Not a surprise.
Files walked all the way back over here to Crescent Lake and then realized that soft potions were not available for sale. And so his red mage remains a pretty looking statue. He probably had a few choice words to say when that happened. He's picking up Nuke, though, for his black mages, so that'll make him a little bit happier.
And meanwhile, Taralyn runs into one of the more annoying unrunnable battles. This usually isn't a deadly battle unless they have some nasty magic abilities attached, but just since it's a 9-pack that you can't run from, it takes forever to go through this fight. And if you're interested in learning more about the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer, feel free to join the Discord. Zar just posted a link to that in chat. We have a very friendly community, and we love helping new people learn the game.
We're going to get our first look here at Kraken 1. Terralin is nearing the bottom of the Sea Shrine. And Kraken can hit like a truck even here at the in his first iteration. So we will see if Terralin's 3-member party can take the Fiend down.
I wouldn't be surprised if Terralin picked up the Black Mage, the 4th Black Mage, just to leave that poor guy dead in the first slot.
What a day for that Black Mage, right? You get resurrected and you're at level 1, 25 hit points, and oh look, it's Kraken.
So 50% chance for that Black Mage to be targeted on a physical attack. So good luck, buddy. 442 damage.
6 hits later.
So very very good idea to pick up that Black Mage, and it's just the sheer amount of physical damage that these bosses can do is what makes Artea's party composition so risky. But Artea is never been one to play it safe. So when it works, it's exciting, and when it doesn't, ouch.
Red Mage barely survived Kraken's loving embrace.
And I think that's 5 stacks of evasion on the black belt, so it should be okay. Looks like a couple of nuke charges and some punches should be able to close this out. Meanwhile, Artea runs into some nachos that got left out too long after the New Year's party.
Terralin successfully takes down Kraken. The Water Fiend has her second orb lit. And so we have Artea, Tristal, and Terralin kind of all little neck and neck here at this point.
Yep, Files is currently going through ordeals and will be in go mode, maybe not by item possession, but by knowing where the slab is, he can definitely get things moving.
And if you blinked, you miss Lich on the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Tristal just shattered him into a million pieces.
There was a Fiend here. He's gone now. It looks like Terra's heading up to the waterfall. Tristal is gonna drop off the slab to be translated and also check out the armor shop. Pro rings for everybody. Artea picks up the bottle, now has enough money to do so. And I think after that Earth Cave dive, Tristal probably has enough money as well.
File's still carrying around his stone party member. Running with 3 characters here in Temple of Ordeals, not finding the pillars to his liking so far.
And it looks like Tristal does not have enough money to pick up that bottle in Provoca now, so he'll likely be heading up to... he's going to head up to pick up the chime.
Meanwhile, in the IRC room, it does look like we've lost our forfeit in this race. If you're joining us, we do have 20 people running this race. We're down to 18. 2 people have decided that the seed is not for them and that they're going to try some other time. So aside from the 4 people you're watching here, we've got another 14 that are also vying for a first place finish here.
And Files finds out that the Medusas have Toxic, and down go both of the Black Mages. The Red Mage is petrified, and this Ordeals living up to its name for Files.
I rolled this seed. I'm going to hear it from him later.
Tristal picking up the chime, so he just is 1 cube short of being able to go fight Tiamat in Sky Castle.
Files here is going to have a dangerous encounter with some zombie dragons at the end of this Ordeals with only 1 party character up.
Tarlin just picked up the cube as well. Artea is going to pick up the chime, so he has the option of going right into Mirage Tower.
There's a floater pickup for Files. And there's the crown. So now we'll check to see if Files can get through a couple of zombie dragons here with his black belt. And he only rolled 1.
Yeah, good to see that he only rolled 1, because 2 of those guys, 1 crit from them, and that would have put him right in the danger zone. But he's in good shape to make it out of here okay. Looks like Tristal is just going to pick that cube up and then head back.
Files making a beeline northward. He's probably going to stop off here at Elfland, get his party back up to spec, maybe even unstone his Red Mage, who's been stoned for a good 20 minutes now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the soft potions are available in Elfland, but they are certainly not available in Ordeals, so he has to go somewhere. And no clinic in Melman means that's not an attractive option as well.
For those of you that are watching this Final Fantasy Randomizer and have not watched one of these before, since things are randomized and you can find horrible things like imps that stone touch you or other pleasantries, the item shop in Caneria, the first town, is guaranteed to at least have soft potions available, as well as pure potions, so that you can cure stoning and poison touch.
And so we have Artea killing a Tyro and then sitting on the screen for about a minute and a half. Probably knows that I'm commenting. Don't really appreciate that.
Both of your commentators today are staunchly Team Tyro and believe that Tyros are gentle, loving creatures that deserve your respect. And so we would never kill one. Artea is Team Tyro Steak and thinks deviant things.
Vampires with squint, but Artea is well equipped with pro rings and ribbons. Files finding the second ribbon and the ice sword in Titan's Cave, and looks like he's just gonna leave the Red Mage in petrified form for a while. If he decides to do a grind in Volcano, that would actually pay off, since he could just thaw out the Red Mage after the grind is done.
Yeah, that's a sharp idea here. He'll go ahead and do a bit of an Agama grind, perhaps in the volcano, and then, like you said, uh, bring the red mage back into play for the rematch with Carrie. Artea making it to the Sky Castle first out of our four streamed runners here. And so the Sky Castle, the home of Tiamat, the Fiend of Wind, as well as Warmac. And so everybody get your Bless RNG emotes ready for a possible visit from our good friend Warmac, who likes to frighten people.
Yeah, and with two-person party, an ambush from Warmech could be absolutely terrifying. Also to consider, it looks like the Caribs have poison, so that's kind of rude to encounter on the river. Artea is not getting into as many encounters as he probably would like. The monsters in the Sky Castle give a lot of experience, and so would not be surprised to see Artea taking nearly every fight in this dungeon.
And we're nearing the Warmac Bridge, the Bridge of Destiny. And so if you want to see Warmac, Warmac only comes out for people who spam Bless RNG in the chat. So here's your chance.
Another question in chat: does Artea not have the loot? With version 1.6 and up, there is an option to cross the bridge early, and so Artea has skipped Temple of Fiends entirely, and is going to just take care of that on the way to Temple of Fiends Revisited. So no loot, but it shouldn't be too hard to just one-shot Garland on the way to fight Chaos.
With 4 runners on stream, there's a reasonable chance Warmac will come out and play today. Artea's the first to run across the Bridge of Destiny, finds a couple tasty nachos. Warmac is in the pool of Fiends Revisited, and so can cast all sorts of horrifying things, including Nuke, Nuclear Whirl, Inferno, and a whole host of other fun things. Then his spells and skills, like Nuclear, might have gone to Chaos or Kraken 2. Makes it across the Bridge of Destiny. Here comes Tiamat. 6 hits for 150, was that right?
Yeah, 6 hits for 150, and hey, we have some Brack casts, so sure some more split punches smiling.
Brack strats in the upper left-hand corner. Tiamat is vulnerable to it. And oh boy, those 6 hits for 6 damage. And Tiamat has fast. Look out, everyone.
Nope, Brack strats work. GG. Only fair after getting petrified by those wolves that Brack finally works on an imposing enemy. And now it's Tristal's turn to cross the bridge, so bust out those Bless RNGs again.
Meanwhile, over in the IRC race room, we've lost a third member to this seed, so we're down to 17 racers.
Tristal also helping himself to free nachos. And looks like Artea is just going to do some solo leveling with this black belt here in the desert.
And of course, he chooses Tyros as his target. Of course, and they bite back.
So overworld leveling is not a bad strategy, but there is an investment as far as resources and items. So a lot of pure potions are going to be used in the course of this. Excuse me, heal potions.
Tristal's still trying to make his way across the Bridge of Destiny here. The air encounters are coming fast and furious.
And it looks like one of the black mages got blown off the bridge, but brought back to life, and plenty of heal potions. So this will allow Tristal, this grind in the desert will allow Tristal to catch up here.
Tristal now to Tiamat. We will see if he also tries to employ Brack strats here on Tiamat, because otherwise Tiamat was not taking a whole lot of damage.
Tiamat wasn't taking much damage from a untempered level 32, or level, 26 black belt, I believe. So
Right.
Tristal should have a lot more oomph behind this punch. And yeah, it was almost double damage there. And a couple of charges of Nuke, because Nuke doesn't care much either. And hey, we had a Vorpal Sword. Or no, that was the Ice Sword hit. 3 hits for a crit, and we're good.
So Tiamat goes down. Tristal still trailing Artea here, but not by a whole lot. He lights up his third orb. And Files is back down to the bottom of the volcano. He is back to meet Carrie, and he's not going to take it anymore.
Yep, this time it's personal. Tristal now has enough money to pick up that bottle. We'll do so, and then head immediately over to Gaia.
Artea coming back to the desert here.
And looks like the Tyros have about 300 health, so in one-shot range right now. And
and there's a wyvern that didn't appreciate that.
no, not only that, he forgot to have the ribbon on the black belt, so that hurts. It's a little bit of a setback, but fortunately not too much since he's been saving in between every level.
Wyvern saying, "Don't touch me or my friend again."
How dare you? Giving Artea the evil eye. So Tara is about to finish Earth Cave, or actually about halfway through it right now, and as soon as I say that, an ambush by a 9-pack. So that's not going to be lethal at all, but it's going to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this encounter set because they always seem to everybody seems to go first before any of your party characters.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I like saving Earth last, just because if any of them run away, and not just this pack, but like the Werewolf Grey Wolf pack, the Wizard pack, the Giant Grey Imp Werewolf pack, uh, or some arachnids. If when they run away, it saves you some time. And even if you're not doing a 42 black belt grind, if you get somebody up to the 30s or so, you'll see some cowardice in the enemies of the Earth Shrine.
And we're watching here in the upper left-hand corner as the Wyverns are not messing around today. They've stun-touched the Master now.
Well, I mean, that's what he gets for picking on poor Tyros.
The most maddening part of all of this is just the amount of time you lose. I'm sure Artea's thinking something something that we probably can't put on stream.
I think Artea probably went to go get a beer or something.
Meanwhile, we've switched the audio back over to Tristal again. Tristal is sort of eked out into the lead here and is in the final dungeon because Artea is doing a bit of a Tyro grind. And so we're on board with Tristal's audio now.
Yeah, and it looks like Tristal is going to pick up the usual sort of greed chests. Looks like Tarlin did the same in Earth and is rewarded with a pro ring. I think that's about maybe four extra steps to pick up that treasure chest. No, 6 extra steps, so not too bad.
Artea possibly employing bathroom strats here.
And Files now has the Mystic Key, and looks like he's going to look in some of these treasure chests, even though he has everything that he needs for go mode, and will be not rewarded at all. Tristal getting lucky 7s on his hit versus that big guy.
It's the experience party balloon, is that what you call it?
The experience pinata.
Yeah, that'll work too.
In the case of a black belt, instead of candy, it's full of steroids.
Tristal about now to meet Kraken. We've seen Kraken once before. Terralin has taken the Water Fiend down. And we do know that Kraken can pack a punch. But we'll see whether or not Kraken's any match here for a souped-up black belt.
And it looks like Terralin is dipping into these 5 chests as well. Doesn't look like, not much worth picking up here, unfortunately. Light Axe will have limited usefulness. Good against the Spectre Ghosts, or Geists, and good against the Ghosts in Sea Shrine. But that's really about it.
Here comes another poor little black mage that's been sleeping all day and put up to the top of the party just in time to meet Kraken.
Congratulations, you have been promoted.
Here, stand right here. Now don't move.
This job has a 100% mortality rate, but I'm sure you'll be the first one to survive. And the red mage just gets destroyed.
Kraken deciding it liked the taste of red mage today.
And the little black mage that could survives takes Kraken out with a lit 3.
Immediately leaps to level 6.
And so that's not so bad. That's a lot of extra light lit 3 and ice 3 charges, and ice 3 comes in handy on the water floor quite a bit.
For those of you that are wondering what's going up with Artea up in the upper left, apparently, well, we're not sure what happened to Artea, but we presume he'll be back shortly. Meanwhile, Tristal has all 4 orbs lit and is ready to go ahead and give the old Temple of Fiends Revisited a try. See if he will do a little bit of manipulation on his stuff here. Oh, and Artea's back, everyone. Just in time to punch a wyvern to death.
So it looks like Tristal first into Temple of Fiends, and as far as these 200% seeds, or these low boost seeds go, he's put up a pretty good time so far.
Yeah, this is a pretty impressive show so far for a low boost 2.2 times experience run. 138 entering into Temple of Fiends Revisited. This is sort of the second half of the game. Of course, it's not an actual half. It's much shorter than that, but Temple of Fiends Revisited can be a real bear to get through.
And oh gosh, Terralyn finding out that shadows have glance, and it's probably good that our runners didn't have to go into Marsh Cave this time.
Yeah, especially with soft potions being rather expensive at around 600 a pop. We probably would have heard from them about it.
Meanwhile, Files gets rejected at the door of the Bat Party Room. You must have wings in order to participate, so sorry, come back next time.
Gold bracelets for Terralyn at 18,000 apiece. That's nice and cheap. I didn't catch that at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, definitely good to pick up. Haven't seen an opal bracelet yet, so gold bracelets and pro rings are pretty much endgame material at this point. Drissel's going to take the first look at the Phantom, and we'll see how hard this jerk decides to hit today.
Apparently not at all.
Well, I mean, he's only got one eye, so the depth of perception isn't too great. So this pack of 4 zombie dragons is going to be a good experience for Tristal, but unfortunately that's not what he wants at this point. He would rather have a fight that he could run away from. And just with the sort of distribution of damage, it's taking about as long as possible. Files, meanwhile, I think knowing where they're having the slab is just checking for some extra items. Maybe looking for Mazmune because he does not want to level up the fighter. Or excuse me, not level up the black belt. Mazmune is nice in that any of the characters can equip it, and the black belt at his current level, I think, gets 5 hits, so pretty good damage, even if he hasn't hit 32 yet. Have an opal bracelet sighting. Tarlin found it in the first floor of Mirage. So some good stuff in a very easy to check location. The Tyro grind continues for Artea. Lots of stakes to be had. And Tristal is getting shaken down by these mud golems.
Tristal going ahead and healing up for the first look at Lich Revisited.
Oh, and hey, Gurmedusas have Brack as well, so it's my guess that the Medusa spell list landed on wolves and Gurmaduses.
Lich survives a first round hit from the black belt and responds in kind with Blizzard. There goes one of the black mages.
Another punch ought to do it, but that is a life charge that is burnt for nothing. Oh, jeez. That's a nuclear.
And Tristel's really lucky to get out of this with his red mage still intact, so the black mages can come back up with life. So we've watched a couple of those major spells go by. Thankfully, they're on Lich.
Yeah, so good to see them now, but it feels bad to be down to, was that 33 heal potions I saw? And not much in the way of healing magic altogether, so this may give Artea a chance to catch up here if Tristel takes a wipe.
Files in the lower right-hand corner electing a class change, and so he will have fancy upgraded sprites as well.
Does that before doing any sort of solo level grind on the black belt, so the magic resist is kind of, it is what it is for Files right now.
Which is going to make, for example, Lich Revisited here with the Blizzard and Nuclear not a whole lot of fun.
Yep, so now we've got 23 heal potions, and this shot at carry, so we'll see how it goes. Question in chat, did Tristel get the bottle? He did. The bottle is required to take on the Fiend of Water. And
if you're looking there at the lower left-hand corner, that was Nuke from Carry that took out the red mage, and so Tristel's going to try to man mode this with just a black belt and a black mage, and it looks like he's not stopping.
Yeah, and at this point, he really doesn't have the option to. Good that he can still get buffs off, but this isn't going to end well against a 7 water group. And I think at this point, if I was in Tristel's shoes, I would just reset. I don't think there's any possible way you get through 3 Fiends. Yeah, and he agrees.
Yep, there you go. So he agrees with the edge, and he warped ahead back out. So that brings our other runners a little bit closer here. Artea's almost through the Sea Shrine, and Terralyn is working her way through Mirage Tower and the Sky Castle. And they've been gaining experience while Tristel lost a good 10 minutes there, testing the lower levels of the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah, now he knows the nasty stuff is up front versus carry, so probably not going to set up and instead just go for all-out offense. Again, don't get to see how much damage Phantom does, and I'm very curious to see how many heal potions Tristel has in his inventory. A little bit too quick on the loot usage for me to catch that. Looks like we have another forfeit. Shylazia has dropped out as well, so unfortunate run of luck for Shy. Hopefully the next league race goes a little bit better.
So it's telling that Tristel's running all the way back down here into the lower levels of the Temple of Fiends Revisited. He must feel like he can do this and complete it with the levels that he has.
Yeah, I think it's just not a matter of... it was very unfortunate that the Red Mage took that much damage off of Nuke. It's not uncommon, but when you have a Red Mage that has about 300 hit points, or 350 hit points, it's a bit of a surprise when Nuke takes him out. Question in chat, since only your best attempt accounts for chaos points, forfeit means that the race won't count at all. Until you participate in another race, any forfeit counts as a full chaos point, which is definitely the worst outcome, but anyone that forfeit will have time to join another race. I mean, there's 2 more weeks to go in round 1 flags. Or excuse me, stage 1 flags. So they have plenty of time to take another run and lower that chaos point total.
So at the beginning of every stage, each of our participants receives 1 chaos point from chaos, and then the object for the next 2 weeks is to try to lower that point down as low as possible. If you win a race, that erases the chaos point entirely, and you have 0 points for the stage. And then any other result other than a win is just a percentage of the winning racer's time. And you can run in as many races as you want. And so if you get 0.7 in a race and you want to try to lower it further, you're more than welcome to do so. And to answer Freight Train's question that just came up, who won the big tournament that was going on before? Freight Train, we are almost to the finals of our classic Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. And I believe we have the lower bracket finals going on tomorrow night, and then the finals will be starting next week.
So tomorrow night it will be myself versus Ice Blue to find out who has the privilege of facing Tristal in the grand finals. Another question in chat, assuming that these are forced parties, they are for completely forced at random for round 1. So fortunately, it turned out to be a relatively balanced party, but there have been some round 1 seeds where you end up with 2 thieves and two black mages, and it's very interesting to see how people handle a very challenging party configuration. Artea takes out Kraken and is ready to head into Temple of Fiends as soon as he escapes from the Frosted Flakes mascots over there.
Yeah, these stage 1 flags can be really diabolical depending on what the mixture of your force party characters are. I ran a practice seed a few days ago and ran a fighter, 2 black belts, and a thief, and had no access to magic whatsoever until I found the tail, and then I barely had any magic after that.
Terra also with a complete slate of orbs as well, and we are drawing very, very close to the end game and would not be surprised to see some done soon.
Tristal now heading down to his 2nd attempt with Carry 2. We do know that she has Nuke right out of the gate here, and that Red Mage at 330 hit points is the character to watch.
Another question in chat, does the Thief have at least better flee stats? The Thief the running mechanic is fixed in this version of the randomizer, so the Thief actually has some use at running away. And Tristal manages to survive the lead-off nuke, and now has the whole party to go through the water floor. Another question in chat, Artea is missing the loot. As of version 1.6, the bridge is already built in Coneria, so with the early bridge option enabled, you can just skip Garland and run right to the end. Or run right to Provoca, rather, and pick up the loot at the end.
Tristal finding his water encounter here. There's only 5 of them, and his poor little black mage up at the top of the party got stunned almost instantly, and there he goes, bye-bye. But he does have a full party here to go ahead and take down these waters.
Yeah, and it looks like the waters have a ridiculous amount of HP. It's a good thing that Ice 3s are plentiful, but I think passing down the black shirt to the black belt might be a good move. But then again, you're opening the armor screen, and that might reduce the total armor that the black belt currently has. So, kind of a trade-off. And Tristal's probably hoping he doesn't have to think about it again.
Tristal now with about 45 heal potions left in his arsenal.
Yeah, significantly better than where he was. Gets a very, very clutch run from the second Black Mage there.
And while you're all watching our 4 featured runners here, we have another 13 runners off screen that are also running this race. So I've got my eyes peeled on the IRC channel to see if anybody else duns first.
Artea running into some very bad men and failing to run away from them. So that's going to eat up quite a bit in the way of heal potions. And the lack of curative magic is really showing itself here. Not having Cure 4, not having Heal 3 is really, really painful. Tristal takes down Kraken 2, and that's just 2 more Fiends to go with 30-some heal potions left. I think he's got just enough to make it, barring another nasty AoE spell. File's about to take on Kraken 1. Terra takes out Phantom and is headed down to the Earth floor. Artea with right behind. And she unfortunately runs into the unrunnable Frostwolf Frost Giant fight. Tristal setting up for the Tiamat fight right now. Lead off White Shirt is good, and not good enough to save the life of the Black Mage in the first slot. Oh, but it is good enough to save the life of the Red Mage, although any follow-up attack is likely to take him out.
Yeah, that Red Mage is the linchpin here of Tristal's entire strategy. He would like to keep him up for the Chaos fight if at all possible.
Yeah, and we'll see if Tiamat decides to play nice. No,
Wow.
Goes straight for the Red Mage again. And at this point, I think you can't justify saving those nukes. You have to just go all offense. And drops the... now he really has to protect that Black Mage at all costs.
Yep, and so he puts the black belt up at the top of the party. That Black Mage is tucked all the way down at the bottom of the party. Gonna try to keep him alive here for the rest of the run off of this floor. And he gets it. So now we're down to Chaos. He's got 2 party members. He's got a relatively souped up black belt that can do this. And that Black Mage, though, is going to be... Oh, nope, we're going to switch him around.
So I'm very curious about this decision. I think the right move would be to keep him in the lower slot and just drop 3 defenses on the black belt. But we'll see how this goes.
And bye-bye to the Black Mage. So it's all up to the black belt on his own now. But he is missing. Chaos is missing off of the fights at this point. There's Lightning 3.
Yeah. So Chaos rolled very, very high in the strength department, and with 2 defense stacks, seems to not be able to hit the black belt at all.
There was a Bane out of Chaos. You'd never want to see that. Even with a ribbon, it hits 3 out of 256 times.
So the spell list, not so intimidating. The skill list, even less so. But it looks like he has a lot of HP.
So Chaos still swinging back at this black belt, but can't get in. There's Inferno for 70 hit points. Lit 2 not terribly frightening. Here comes another hit from the black belt. That's 433 damage this time. Wow, we got Chaos rolled with some HP this time, didn't he?
Yep, but against a max evade black belt, not much Chaos can do.
Yep, and that's
Down
a
he goes.
GG, and that's a first place finish in this race of a time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 25 seconds, which is just a spectacular time for these low boost seeds.
Yep, very well done to Tristal, and see if we can get him in here for an interview. In the meantime, Artea survives the nuke thanks to the bulk of the levels put into both the red mage and the black belt.
So we'll listen to the happy endgame music here until we can get it switched over. Let's see if we can find Tristal and get him into the chat here. Meanwhile, back on screen here, Artea and Terralyn are doing a pretty close neck and neck race here. Terralyn's red mage barely gets past Lich with only 3 hit points left. Her red mage is going to be just as important to this entire run as Tristal's was.
And it's going to be rough for both of them. They're already down to about 50 heal potions. Artea down to less than 40. So the lack of heal 3 and cure 4, both Artea and Terralyn are really feeling it. Files making his way up the Mirage Tower.
And it looks like we're joined in the chat room here by Tristal. Tristal, congratulations. That was a 20-man race. It's the largest race the Final Fantasy Randomizer community has ever run. And you're our first place finisher, so congratulations to that.
Thank you very much.
GG to you, Tristal. So how did you feel about that leadoff nuke from Gary?
I mean, I kind of felt bad. I was feeling bad just even going in because I failed like 10 runs in a row on that quad Chimera fight starting in. I probably should have just reset from there because I was going to run out of heal potions anyway. But then the rest of TOFR kind of settled that for me anyway. So the only black mark on the entire run, everything felt like it went really great. Otherwise, obviously the plot item placement was pretty much perfect for me. With Floater and Crown and Ordeals. And that just kind of set everything else up.
Yeah, it seemed like that fit your general strategy. I was curious if you might try a Volcano first with easy access to Ice 3, but Harm 4 meant that you could get through Ordeals pretty easily as well.
The only other strange routing thing for me is normally I'll do Ice Cave after Ordeal, but because I had Floater and Crown and a whole lot else going on, I was basically in go mode minus the slab, so I figured, you know, if Volcano's got slab, then hooray, and even if it doesn't, I can just start my grind and be well on my way anyhow.
Our audio is on board here with Terralyn up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and she unfortunately just took Carrie's nuke to the face, and all 3 of her mages tanked because of it. So she's running solo black belt now at this point. We saw something similar sort of happen to you, Tristal, and you went and you resetted back out. You didn't feel like you're going to be able to take out the rest of the temple?
Well, it was more that I was about to die anyway. I was in the double sea troll. It was something like 5 or 6 lobsters and some sea snakes, and I failed the run, and the lobsters were hitting me for like 80 damage a hit, so...
yes.
I reset before the inevitable happened. I was basically out of heal potions anyway, so it just wasn't going to happen.
We're watching almost the exact same thing now happen to Terralyn, who's stun locked, and sea snakes and trolls are making quick work of her, unfortunately.
Looks pretty rough, because they probably have ribbon on, I imagine. For Artea might be a little rough too, because he's only got one source of Ice 3 alive. Surprising, like I assume the red mage has life, but he's choosing not to use it.
Both of those black mages are level 1, so.
I see. Fair enough.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, he went very hard into the the Dan strategy, taking early bridge and just going to Provoca with 2 mages or 2 party members.
Yeah, that seems fair. Maybe if something like Warp were Black Mage only, cut off from it, but seems to not really be an issue.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on board with 3 party members. 2 I feel like is only really useful if it's like the other 2 are thieves. I feel like the utility of the 3rd party member really helped out in your case a lot. You know, having the 2 sources of Ice 3, a couple sources of Temper as well, and having nuke charges available.
I agree with the 3 party member strat here with such a experience boost. It's kind of impossible to do what you want to do and have the levels necessary to beat the game.
For anybody that just missed that, up on the upper left-hand corner, the waters struck at that little level 1 black mage and then missed the first time, which allowed the black mage to get an Ice 3 off.
I was a little surprised he hadn't switched his black mage up to the first slot for the Kraken fight, but it ended up working out.
So meanwhile, in the rest of the race, nobody else has not done quite yet, and so second place is still up for grabs among the 12 or so runners that are still running right now.
So this run went pretty well for me. I apologize for all the chaos points that are going to get doled out as a result of this one. Got very lucky.
So, Tristal, with the experience boost so low, do you ever consider going to 42, or is it just going to go to 32 and see what happens?
Experience boost and more the enemy stat maximum, because this is only 220, I think. Yeah, it's only 220%. So, and plus with the newer randomizers, we're not going to have the super crazy max evade anymore. So I don't feel like 42 is necessary. I've always erred on the side of 32 as opposed to 42 anyway. And with it taking an extra, I don't know, 5 minutes to get 42, plus the enemy's not really needing it, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough to even get close to that with the amount of heal potions that you have, just because you have to kill more Agamas. If they're hitting just a little bit harder, you might run through all of your potions before you even hit 30 or 42.
We got lucky that the Agamas really didn't hit very hard. The grind could have been difficult, especially when I started out so early. I think I started at like 14 or 15, which is a lot earlier than I normally would. But since we kind of had everything, I felt like it was worth a shot.
Yeah, and I think just your move to go through ordeals first plays very well in this sort of low boost seed. That way you have the levels going into Volcano to do the grind, and you also get to check out if the zombie dragons are pushovers.
The zombie dragons are a solid grind target a lot of the time. Not really here, unfortunately. But most of the other stuff in Ordeals isn't a real problem. Zombies are unrunnable, but usually not very difficult and pretty fruitful for experience as well.
I see a question in chat from squats are bad for your knees. I'm not sure if I agree with that or not. No more no more max evade enemies. You're asking. You guess the devs only want to see black belt strats. Well, yes and no. Yes, there are no more max evade enemies that we want to throw at our runners, but we're also doing fully forced parties these days, and so. If you like the black belt strats, you had one in this seed, but in other seeds that we're running for this stage 1 of the randomizer league, there may be no black belts. You may have 3 black belts. You just don't quite know yet.
I mean, I kind of disagree with the statement to begin with. I think lowering the max evade helped non-black belt parties. Black belts are the ones that top out the best, so they're best suited to handle the 250 evade chaoses of the world. And so making it so those don't exist anymore just helps everybody else out.
Yeah, the best way to fight the sort of capped out evade enemies are to maximize the amount of hits, and a fasted black belt is just going to be way better than a fasted fighter with Asmian.
To know if Artea's got a ribbon on that black belt, because he just got bracked right through it.
And our 4th featured runner, Files, who took a unpleasant early wipe to carry in the Gurgu Volcano, has drawn even, so to speak, with our other runners here and has entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited. He's done a pretty nice sprint to get back to this point. Files has also been running with 4 party characters this entire time, which has been a little bit different than some of our other racers. So we'll see whether or not that pays off for him.
Yeah, with getting early Ice 3 and Lit 3, having all 3 of those mages alive isn't as bad as it normally would be in a seed like this. Sometimes it can balance out to be alright.
Tristal, while we have you here in chat, I know that our Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament is still happening, and that you're waiting here to see who your opponent is going to be. Have you given any thought to the finals? Have you taken a peek at those flags for the finals race, and have any thoughts on what you might expect?
Yeah, I've been meaning to take a bit more time in the hyperbaric chamber to train a little bit on the new flags. It's tough balancing the league and the tournament at the same time. But I've taken a bit of a look at the finals flags. The forced 4 party members, like they are here, make it actually a little easier on me, I think. I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm picking the right party. I just am given a party, and that's what I got. I think it's going to be pretty difficult with the spell shuffle and everything else getting harder than the previous round. So interesting, but I think most of my practice from the previous round is going to just transition into this round anyway.
Looks like Artea's choosing to take a Mudgull encounter here on purpose, looking for perhaps another level or 2 before he goes down onto the fire floor. And living dangerously on the edge here with 16 hit points on that red mage. So we're now 2 hours and 11 minutes into this seed, and still only Tristal has finished. He finished with a 1 hour and 57-minute mark. I have to think that we have several other runners now down here in the Temple of Fiends Revisited trying to finish this off themselves. We know that Lich here has nuclear as well as blizzard, and Carrie has a turn 1 nuke waiting for our runners to deal with.
And one big advantage to Artea having the 2-man party is that his red mage is far better equipped to handle a nuke charge.
Terilyn, meanwhile, still working on her Agama grind to bring her black belt up to probably level 32 at least, before she goes ahead and attempts Temple of Fiends again. Files, down in the lower right-hand corner, is a bit of a wild card here. We will watch to see what happens with his party. Meanwhile, over in the IRC chat room, our friend Sforzando has finished in second place with a time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 39 seconds, which is super respectable.
So yeah, GG to Sforzando. We'll try to get him in here and get his comments on the race. And looks like Minochi and might be the next one going through.
Artea, by the way, just as the commentator cursed it, got hit for 400 nuke on his red mage, but because he's such a high level, he has 416 max HP and he survived it.
And Sforzando joining us here in the commentary room. Congratulations on a pretty awesome second place finish. 2 hours and 13 minutes. And this was like I told Tristel, this is our largest race ever, and you're in second place. So huge GGs to you.
I don't believe it, honestly. I really don't. I mean, I'm not surprised to see the first place time, but it really surprised me to finish in second.
Well, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about how the seed unfolded for you. You were not on screen for our viewers to watch, so give us a little bit of a taste of how the seed went for you.
Unfortunately, I got away from my game a little bit after the first race in which Len went down and did the volcano grind. I thought to myself, all right, maybe I'll start with that. And I went down there, and unfortunately, at the level I went, the Agamas were not very friendly or conducive to a grind. So when I discovered that, I thought, okay, I'll take my party down to carry. Hopefully I'll pull through, and I'll just come back later and maybe double dip. And unfortunately, carry wasn't very friendly to me either, so I actually probably was set back a good 10 or 15 minutes. But the information that I acquired helped me, being that the slab was down there and everything. So I packed up and went to Ordeals, which is what I usually do, especially if the spells are pretty good, like they were at least for level 1 Ice 3, Lit 3, what have you. And so I went to Ordeals, and I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty behind because I just lost a carry. And so I'm going to need to pull some sort of risk. Maybe I go to Marsh after there's something like that. And then 2 of the 3 go mode items were in Ordeals. I'm like, well, great. I can't do that.
And how did you find Temple of Fiends Revisited here?
I leveled my black belt to 42. I figured if I was going to finish, I was at least going to finish well. I did not think I'd at least get second. With seeing Artea and Tristel in this seed, I knew I was like, okay, I'm not going to win, but let me just finish well, especially after the bad first volcano start. And so I leveled black belt to 42, and I just never looked back. Temple of Fiends was really not that difficult for me.
So still on screen here, we're watching Artea now wandering into the water floor, having made it past Carrie and her nuke. He's got one of the little black mages that could up. So we'll see if he has a better attempt here. And ouch, there goes the red mage again.
You're a little bit ahead of my stream on that.
Yeah, I managed to just one punch basically all the feeds except Tiamat, and so I never saw Nuke or otherwise.
So Artea taking on Tiamat now with just a single black belt up, and Tiamat's hitting pretty hard. So unfortunately, it looks like he's going to have another party wipe there. And Terralyn, right alongside him on the upper right-hand side of your screen, also outside. Down on the lower right-hand side of the screen, we're watching Files greet the beauty that is Carrie with her nuke, but his red mage survived the attempt.
This is pretty brutal for Artea. Tiamat 2 is kind of the real final boss here, because Chaos is such a pushover for me, and I can't imagine it'll be any tougher for Artea. So once he gets past Tiamat 2, he's going to have no problem, I think.
So I think you'd all agree here that the red mage, or red wizard if you upgraded him, is probably the secret MVP of this party because of the ability to bring people back to life.
That was almost exclusively it. Ice 3s were just to clear trash packs, and it was just one punch man the whole time.
So Artea and Terralyn high-fiving there for a little bit as they run back into the Temple of Fiends. Files on the lower right-hand side is, after that nasty wipe down in Gugu Volcano is looking reasonably good here. He has a fully formed party. We'll see if he brings the other Black Mage back to life. So, Swartzando, what are your thoughts on these Stage 1 League flags? Do you like them? Do you not like them? What do you think?
The very first time I streamed these flags, I absolutely said I hated it. It was just gross and disgusting, and I didn't want to put my hands on it. I've played, according to my counter, I've played 23 games of this now, and I've learned the value of kind of the beginning of your game. Almost the first 45 minutes really mean as much as like the last half an hour. The decisions that you make early, where you're able to gain your levels, the money that you spend and how you spend your money is absolutely pivotal. And so where I hated it, it actually taught me just a different strategy and a different approach to the beginning of the game. It's not just flooded with experience or money and you can have whatever you want. You actually have to make legitimate decisions for your well-being and for your setup going forward.
So with that said, are you going to run more of these for the next 2 weeks, or are you done now?
I'm really torn because I got fourth in last night's run, but it netted me 0.05 chaos points, which is, I'm not gonna say that's the best I'm going to do, but given sort of my skill set and my experience with this, that might be the best I can do. But I think I will definitely get in a few more before this 2 week period's up.
Still on board with Files down here in the lower right-hand corner. Takes down Kraken. As Trystal said, Tiamat is really the gatekeeper here once you get down this far. Oh, and man, Files runs into an unlucky encounter here. Let's see if he can run out of it.
Only got one lobster. It shouldn't be that bad. If it was 4 lobsters, I'd be concerned.
Trystal, while you're back with us here, what are your thoughts on these Stage 1 League flags? Do you enjoy them? Is it something you're looking to get past later on?
Well, I'm a little biased now. Gotten like 5th place in this race, I probably would have told you I can't stand them. It's probably a better idea for me, since I'm still in the tournament, to just concentrate on practicing for that now that I'm not obligated to play these flags for another couple weeks. But, the opportunity to get in there and deny some people, make them get some chaos points, might be, up to my liking.
I thought something like that might be up your alley. Anybody that wins one of these stage 1 races can keep entering and keep winning races, which keeps other people from clearing out their chaos points completely.
Why am I not
to actually answer your question, the flag set, I actually really like the early bridge. This is the first time I've really done early bridge before. And that's pretty neat, I think. I like that change. It feels good to just not deal with Garland at the beginning.
Ooh, Files eats a zap from Tiamat, and is down with just the 2 party characters that had zap protection. So Files is gonna get past Tiamat 2 here, thankfully. And so while we wait for him to set up for his attack run on Chaos, Starman asks in chat, how long is an average Final Fantasy randomizer run? Really depends, Starman, on the strength of the seeds and the flags that you're using. Anywhere between 90 minutes to almost 3 hours. This is a pretty difficult flag set we're running with here, and so it can be closer to the 3-hour mark as we're watching here.
You want to use 2 as a sample size. Right now, the 2 runs that we've done, the first place finisher has averaged about 213.
File's going for it now here on Chaos. He's got his Red Mage, or Red Wizard, and a Master up. And let's see if he can do this with 2 characters.
As long as he gets the evade stacks up before Chaos starts punching, he should be okay. Probably would be a lot better if he had any life charges left, but can't win them all.
Yeah, he's got defense sword and a ribbon. He should be pretty set.
And Files came from way back in the pack here after a really brutal wipe against Carrie early. Really put his nose to the grindstone, and is doing okay on Chaos so far.
Aggressive with these power bonks. I think that was his 3rd one.
Oh man, and you gotta be
God.
kidding me. So there was a 3 in 256 chance of Bane going through that ribbon, and Files is at a dead stop and probably throwing things across the room. Yep, there we are.
Yep.
I feel for you, Files. That's brutal.
That's Final Fantasy 1 for you. Even when you're totally protected, you're never totally protected.
Cast Brack on him right back.
Doesn't look like he has Brack available. So it looks like he's gonna think about his life choices here. Wow, what a brutal turn of events for Files there. That's just terrible. Meanwhile, we still do have Artea and Terralyn working their way through Temple of Fiends Revisited. Artea's got one of his little black mages that could standing up, and he's got 4 worms up on his screen, so he's got to be pretty deep into Temple of Fiends here.
Tarlin taking a blizzard to the face, so that's a lot of heal potions that are going to go out of the way. Files running into a pack of bad men, and Artea still slogging through this 4-worm fight. And speaking of a slog, there's 4 gas dragons for Files.
We have another person done off screen. Drumbordist is finished in 3rd place with a time of 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 20 seconds. So we'll see if we can. Maybe we'll do a little bit of cycling here. Let's see if we can bring Drumbordist into the chat room. And welcome to the chat room, Drumbordist. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish, 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 20 seconds. GG to you.
Hooray. Who else wiped 2 Agamas? I wiped twice.
There weren't a whole lot of Agama wipes, I think, but there's been plenty of other wipes going on. What did you think of this seed, Drumbordist?
Well, I how early on I'm like, oh good, I'm in go mode, and then not making sure I had enough potions to be able to actually fight the Agamas. So I'm sitting here at 100 hit points at like level 28 going, oh, this is going to end well. I can't even walk out. I would not survive it the moment anything looks at me, I'm dead. Reset. Other than that, it was fun. Really, I feel like I blew it. The seed tried to help me, and I failed.
We've been watching on screen here as Artea and Tarlin and Files have been trying to follow Tristal's lead here and getting through this Temple of Fiends Revisited. It does look like Tarlin has gone ahead and forfeited at this point. So GG to Tarlin, and I'm sorry that this seed didn't work out for you. So that leaves us with 2 people, and Artea up in the upper left and Files down in the lower right, that we will continue to follow at this point. Drumbordist, what do you think of these Stage 1 League flags? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Are you looking to join other ones, or are you finished up here?
They're all right. I definitely want to join another one so that I can not have a 2.5-hour run hanging over me. That was not fun. Well, the time wasn't. But it was fun. I liked it. If I had one complaint, I would say, could I maybe have the option of one class that I could pick? But I mean, I know the rules are already set. That's fair. I just feel like, give me the one. Maybe I want a thief. I don't want a thief.
Would have loved a thief.
Well, yeah. I mean, with the black belt, you would have replaced one of the black mages, right?
It's more just in retrospect. I had so much run trouble. I felt like I was playing Dragon Warrior Randomizer. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, come to think of it, everything in the early game was stupid. Sahagins with Rub? No, why is this a thing?
Because the first one was mute.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. And didn't they also have a... No, I'm thinking of a different set. This is the one where, like, after that they used, what, Cremate?
Yeah, they had Cremate
as well. That was their first special.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, everything's just kind of blending together these days.
Run this so much. It's tough to keep them all apart.
True.
Artea now on the Chaos. His little black mages that could are dead again. But he's got his Red Wizard and Black Belt up. And there comes Bane. Bane does not strike Artea dead like it did Files.
I love the Black Mage hat. I love it. It's great. It's also sad because it means they're dead, but I like it.
Ooh, that's 7 hits for 971 damage, and so Chaos is tottering here for Artea.
Yeah, Chaos had a little bit more life than I thought he would.
There goes the Red Mage down now for Artea. He's down to just the Black Belt. 7 hits for 971 damage, and oh, look, Chaos had Nuke. And there's a GG for Artea as well, with a time of 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 37 seconds. So congratulations to him. Let's see if we can pull him into chat here. And now our audio is on board with Files 25 as he takes his second attempt now on the Temple of Fiends Revisited. I'm sure we're going to hear choice words from him when he finishes.
Good choice, PG words.
And we have a forfeit from Minochi. Looking pretty good coming into Temple of Fiends, but unfortunately just run after run of bad luck. And it looks like he's going to pack it in and give it another shot another day.
So with that, we have 10 more runners still out there that are running. We're on board with Files here on stream, but there's still 9 other runners that are trying to navigate their way through this seed. Looks like, while I say that, Lord Fizzlebeef has finished in 5th place with a time of 2 hours, 35 minutes, and 19 seconds. So the runners are starting to come in now. File's not enjoying that trip into Temple of Fiends. So we'll go ahead and warp out and try again here. Now we have a 6th place finisher. Our winner from last night, Len the Cat, is finished again with an impressive time, 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 16 seconds. Files running with the I hate this game strats up on screen, which is super awesome from somebody that's streaming.
That's an interesting level of positivity we have.
That's about as positive as Files gets. So.
True. I'm also curious what happened to Czar. Does anybody know?
The Agama's got him.
Yeah, the Agamas hit him so hard he forfeit.
So this is a great time to remind everybody that's still out here to give these 4 runners a follow for entertaining us on this New Year's. So send a happy 2018 follow to these 4 runners, and if you haven't subbed yet for Speed Gaming for 2018, you should totally do that too. Make it your New Year's resolution to throw your subscription love to Speed Gaming. So we're seeing if we can get a couple more of these racers here in the chat room to get their take on how the seed went for them. So we are joined in the chat room by Len the Cat, our 6th place finisher. Len, this is a second really good result for you. Finished in 6th place, and you won the race last evening. First off, GG to you, and how do you feel the seed went for you?
Well, thanks. I thought it actually went fairly well. I wiped in Temple of Fiends my first time, where I think I would have gotten about 3rd place or something in that range. But a similar strat to last time. I didn't go Volcano early. I went Ordeals first, and that turned out to be the right play. There was a lot of stuff there. So by the time I got to Volcano, I was highly leveled. I had gold bracelets, and I was able to do an Agama grind. I'm guessing that other people, if they went to Volcano first, that Agama grind might have difficult. I also tried to set up an eye grind, and that didn't work. So, I made a lot of mistakes, but Carry 1 is or Carry 2 who really fucked me up in the run there.
Yeah, that first turn nuke can be a real problem.
All right.
I have a question for you. What was the incentive chest in Ice Cave? What was that?
It was the tail.
You.
Okay.
But I have a black belt. Why do I want this? Tristal, out of curiosity, what did you level your black belt up to?
Go along, go from 32 to 42 in a seat or in a flag set like this, with only 2.2x boost. That's the way they are. I'm not sure 42 is very required usually.
I thought about it, and I ended up capping out at 36, going, yeah, this will take way too long. And 36 seemed like to be a pretty good sweet spot.
I also went to 36.
I also did Ordeals first, but I died I think I died there. I died trying to get the second ribbon in Gurgoo. I died in the grind. I had a fun time.
We're pretty mean too.
A little bit. Oh, is that a black mage? Does he cast an Ice 3 at me? I'm gonna punch him first. Come on, man.
For those of you that are just sort of joining us, either from chat or joining us here in the commentary room, the reason Files isn't done is because first off, he had a nasty Carry 1 wipe, and second, he got baned through a ribbon by Tiamat 2, and is probably going to be pretty salty when he arrives here.
Ow, yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people get hit through ribbons, like with all the Brack running around. Lots of people have gotten hit with spells. It looks like Fuchsia Fantasy is finished in 7th place with a time of 2:42:02.
And so GG's to Fuchsia Fantasy. I know that's one of our newest runners, and that's just awesome. I'm really stoked to see somebody like that, coming in with a good time like this.
That's really fantastic for Fuchsia Fantasy. They were saying they were going to get last place. They've only done a couple of these races before. They had no confidence whatsoever, so this should be a huge self-esteem boon for them. 7th place in a 20-person race. Really good.
We have 20 people in the race?
Well, in this race. Or 4 of them forfeit.
Watching the whole time. Who had the worst wipe?
Since we only had a few of the people up on stream, it might be tough to tell as far as wipes go. I had one wipe in TOFR.
What wiped you?
Well, really, my lack of heal potions is what wiped me, but I actually died to a lobster fight in the water floor. It was one of those double sea troll 5 or 6 lobsters, and my black belt and one black mage were the only ones left alive. The black mage died pretty much instantaneously, and the black belt failed to run, so the lobsters were about to wipe me out. I just took the honorable way out and hit reset and started over.
Yeah, you did the right thing. I tried to fight my way through those fights. I tried to cast defense, and I was able to get through the whole water floor with just my black belt, but he got murdered by Kraken.
Gotten a Kraken, I don't think I would have survived.
Kraken 2 have the AI that was only attacks?
Finding it now. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, it looks like Kraken 2 had no magic and no abilities. I'm looking at the file right now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know Chaos had double ink, so there isn't a whole lot left there.
Files makes it through Kraken 2 here. We'll bring his black mages back up, as many as he can at least, and take another attempt here at Tiamat.
Like we've been saying, once you get past Tiamat, the rest should be no problem, because Chaos has a lot of HP, but not a lot of anything else.
He was hitting kind of hard.
You guys don't
Max
know.
Veda.
He's got a nuke in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th position, or pardon me, 6th position in his spells.
Yeah, we did find that out eventually, but really a problem. He didn't have anything else going on.
I legit thought he was all physical. I kept dropping the white shirt and then just punching him repeatedly.
And he had like some low elemental spells as well. Cure 4 was probably going to be alright. Fight might be a problem for Files. He's looking pretty low on hit points already. On this second round and was able to one punch that second worm.
I think kind of, I hate to say it, but I feel like the biggest issue for Files going in right here is 2 things. 1, his black belt is only level 26, and 2, it's a master, so I don't know what his magic defense is right now, but it is not good.
Anything past 25 is basically the same thing anyway. Matter. So long as he didn't promote or something.
So what happened to Terralyn? I see the party apparently got wiped by Kraken 2.
Yeah, just bad turn order for the Kraken attacks. Every time the white shirt carrier was gonna cast something, Kraken went first and took him out.
Yeah, I think
You can always smell who you don't want him to attack.
kind of prematurely forfeit. She was still live for 4th place.
Files now going ahead and taking another attempt here at Tiamat, who brought his previous run here to a crashing halt with a bane through a ribbon. We'll see whether or not he has better luck this time.
It was a good start. low damage, and everyone's alive and they get their abilities off. I don't actually know where Bane fell in the order, though.
I think it was on Chaos and not on Tiamat.
I thought Bane was on T-Mat. My bad.
Could be on both of them.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No, I think you're right. Now that I think I misspoke. I think Bane is on Chaos.
Yeah, Bane is on Chaos. Tiamat does not have Bane. I can confirm.
All right, thanks, Lon. Ooh, Ice Sword doing some work.
That Ice Sword was surprisingly good in this seed. Helped a lot with the early Agama grind as well. Transition between 3 people being alive, going with Punch, Ice Sword, and Black Shirt, and then I had my Red Mage die around level 18, so the Black Belt and the Black Mage were enough to take care of Agamas until 21, and then Black Belt did it on his own.
I was doing Ice 3 hit because I kept forgetting I had a Black Shirt. And then since the Black Belt's damage was low enough, I actually started having him use the Black Shirt. 4 hits for 60? No, shirt.
I started the grind at level 14, so I didn't have a ton of Ice 3 charges.
Yeah, I think I was there about the same time. So you're like, oh good, I got 4. Oh boy.
So that's the last life charge for Files. We'll see if there's any more encounters before the end of the floor.
Purple worms, please.
Steel golems.
You guys are mean.
We like to see the
Worms.
rare enemies. Well, I like to see the rare enemies. The purple worms are not.
Alice has already had enough bad luck in this run. Let's just end it.
I saw Golem. Oh,
It was rock golems, not iron golems. Thank heavens.
The rock golems actually still hit really hard.
true. Like, wait, I had
The rock golems had died.
Why am I taking like 150 damage? What's happening?
Same problem, you almost ran out of heal potions. To leave 6 hit points on the table instead of using the last heal potion there, we'll see if it costs him.
Some hits him for 7. I'm sorry, I might laugh.
What happened to Czar? Why did he quit so early?
Agamas hit him so
You
hard.
got
he forfeited.
Agamemnon.
All right, everybody. Files has had some bad luck this run, so if you want to give him some love in the chat, you would love to see it at this point. As he goes ahead and tries to take Chaos down after Chaos 3 out of 256 him last time.
And there we go. Stop.
Well, we got a temper off, so it's not a complete loss.
I'd love to see the Poetic Justice. I know his second Black Wizard's got the Bane Sword on.
Oh no. That's the one that's standing, though. You can do it.
Not right now.
And the second you said that,
Rip main strats.
I never found the Bane Sword. Where was it?
I think it was in the Dwarf Treasury, Dwarf Cave.
No.
No, I think
Cave
that was a
recycled
Were
it.
Sword.
so out came Bane again. Bane takes care of the other Black Wizard, leaving the Master and the Red Wizard up and still standing. We know, because of other things and people taking a peek, that Chaos does have Nuke here. And so that's something we got to watch out for here.
Always two. A master and an apprentice. No more, no less. That's
Chaos
right,
is
the
also
wizard.
nuclear after his second ink.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Not great. I love the cured message. Stop war off that long dead Black Mage in the first slot.
That means he
The
can
game
fully
decided to
fall
let
to
him
the
know.
ground. He is completely dead. He has ceased to be.
There's a really nice hit there. 4 hits for about 550 damage. He needs a few more of those in order to be able to go through this.
Now we have the red mage furiously shoveling drinks towards the black belt for the master.
No potion strats.
Here comes Nuke, 312 damage. And down goes the Red Wizard. And now Chaos suddenly decides to start swinging.
Well, that's what he wants with 77 hit points left. His heal potions have paid off.
Chaos so
HP
mad.
dwindling now, 43 hit points. And there's the victory fanfare music, everybody. Files kills off Chaos. 2 hours, 54 minutes, 14 seconds. A big GG to Files, who went through some completely ridiculous RNG to end this one up. And lo, he appears. Files joins us in chat. Files, congratulations and GG to you. 2 hours, 54 minutes, 16 seconds. I'm sure you have some choice things to say, but so I'll hand it over to you.
I hate everyone and everything.
I agree with that sentiment.
Oh my god. Like that has to be like I made some not great plays, but like my volcano was just it was like the ambush rate in the volcano was worse
And
than
lo,
Marsh
he
Cave.
appears.
And I just kept
Files
getting
joins
killed,
us
and then
in
I
chat.
decided not to grind
Files,
because the
congratulations
Agamas
and
didn't
GG.
look super great, and ended up wiping on Carrie, which, you know, she had Blizzard and Thunder. I mean, that was just brutal. Oh god! And then I got baned through a ribbon on Chaos at about 225, 220 ish. So if that hadn't happened, odds are pretty good I would have gotten right around third place. But here I am about a half an hour later instead.
Yeah, we had you up on stream when you got baned. We were all feeling for you. That is just totally brutal luck.
I mean, when Chaos ended up having Nuke, it's not guaranteed that I would have killed him after that, but I had gotten all my buffs off, and it was looking pretty strong. Speaking of pretty strong, GG Tristal, you destroyed this seed.
Yeah, hashtag Trist luck yet again. Went to Ordeals first, got most of the good stuff, and I skipped Ice Cave too, so a lot of things just worked out. I did end up grinding on Agamas, by the way. They actually weren't super terrible once you had Gold Bracelet and Ribbon up.
Yeah, I ended up 2-man grinding on the Eye, which ended up having Stun Touch and Toxic, but it worked either way because Toxic was the second skill in this, so like they would have had to skill twice. It ended up working out okay, but my getting banged through that ribbon was just, I need a cigarette.
I think you've earned a cigarette and a beer, by all means.
So
But
Files,
yeah,
go ahead, Files.
No, I was just gonna complain some more. Don't worry about it.
Well, maybe you can complain about the stage 1 flags. You've gone through one of these now, and I've been asking the other finishers that have rolled through chat. What are your thoughts about low boost seeds, and what are your thoughts about these flags?
I actually prefer low boost, low scaling percentage seeds. You know, I don't mind a nice, 300, 400% scaling seed every once in a while, but when you have scaling that high, it just the game feels a little more solved to me at that point. You know, the tournament that's still going on, it's basically, black belt leveling strats is pretty much the most powerful way to do it. But if you don't have your scaling set so high and the boost isn't so high, that really kind of disincentivizes the black belt grind. So I do enjoy these flags just a little bit more than what we were running in the tournament last year.
I think these flags are great.
Well, of course you do, Len. You finished first in the first race, and you finished a very strong 6th in this race. Len, what do you like about these flags? Why do you enjoy running them?
Actually, what I enjoy running about these flags is what we haven't had, which is when you get stuck with just a shit party. And, how do you do it? How do you grind out a 2-hour, 45-minute finish with a shit party? And these really difficult EXP bonuses. So I'm still looking forward to seeing one of those races.
Yeah, I mean, the part of the joy of the randomizer is, trying to get through the game with the party you have, and letting your strategy be determined sort of by what party you get and what items you get. And there's interesting things to do when you have when you have a couple of forced party members and then a couple of your choice party members. I enjoy running that too, but it is definitely a different game when you have a full forced party, and it's kind of fun to see how everybody decides to go about it at that point.
We really did see a lot of different strategies roll through this, even with the exact same forced party. Everybody made different decisions as to where they wanted to go first once the game opened up. We had people that went to Ordeals first. You went to the Volcano first. Artea bounced over to Ice Cave real fast after getting on out. And so it is nice to watch these experienced runners as well as our newer runners tackle seeds like this. This is kind of a great equalizer because it's not just about muscle memory, not just about your regular routing strats. You got to think real hard at the beginning of these seeds, how you're going to manage your cash flow, where you're going to get your levels in order to make yourself competitive and set yourself up for success at the end. Files, you've done one of these seeds now. You've got a few chaos points that you knocked off, but you've got a few more that you could still do. Are you thinking you're going to run another one of these stages before the stage closes?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the mad props in case no one else has done it. You've done a really great job, Maya, with setting up and doing all the work for this league. I just really tip my hat to you. I really particularly like the way that you designed the way the league point structure works, because it doesn't disincentivize like racing more. If anything, if you do well, it incentivizes you to race more, because then you can hopefully force more chaos points onto people. So to answer your specific question, I am super not happy with my performance on this race. So I will definitely be trying to get more races in to try to improve my score for this round of the league. Hashtag should have had 3rd place. Hashtag Bane through ribbon.
I feel like I could have done better than 3rd place if I hadn't wiped like 12 times. You can have the 3rd place if I can have a better time too.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah, if I hadn't wiped in TOFR, I'm never.
Get that guy out of here. You take your 1st place and you wrap it around you like a warm blanket while I cry in the cold in the corner here.
Wow, the corner's warm where you're at? Can I come in?
Yeah, no, it's actually -10 over here.
Oh.
So as we're wrapping up here, it looks like we had another forfeit from another one of our newer runners. Quicklet is forfeiting from the race just a little bit after 3 hours. GG to you, Quicklet. These are not easy seeds to be cutting your teeth on for the Final Fantasy randomizer. So hold your head up. You did super well, I'm sure. As we sort of wrap this up and let people move on to the rest of their evenings, let's just go from the top to the bottom of the commentary room. Drumboardist, do you have any final thoughts for us?
Pretty much just echoing what you just said. This was not an easy seed, so anyone actually completing this one in a modicum of time, congrats to you. Good on you for joining the race. Good on you for finishing it. If you're still running it, keep going. Don't stop, because you get that experience under your belt. You get faster. You do things hopefully less dumb until maybe you're competing with everyone except Tristol, because that guy.
Edgeworth, anything from you?
Just wanted to say thanks to Clifford and the rest of the Speed Gaming crew who helped out in setting up tonight. Much appreciated. And please give the runners on the stream today a follow. All of them are, great to watch if you're fans of the Final Fantasy Randomizer. So, yeah, definitely throw them a follow.
And it looks like I'm next. So thanks everybody for watching. Happy 2018 to all of you. We're going to have a lot more Final Fantasy Randomizer League races coming up. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow because we have our lower bracket finals in our randomizer tournament that we're trying to wrap up here in the next couple of weeks. So you can watch Edgeworth, you can watch Tristol, you can watch our other admin, Ice Blue, all tango with each other for the rights to winning our inaugural tournament here in the next couple weeks. So keep an eye on Speed Gaming for all of that. Len, I'll pass it to you.
Oh, well, had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of these races. You guys know I'll definitely be in as many of these races as I can schedule. So I'll be there to make sure that you get as many chaos points as I can force you to get.
Okay, Files, you're up.
Yeah, I've pretty much complained about as much as I can about my luck this seed. So yeah, I just look forward to more matches, and yeah, thanks for showing up, guys.
And I see Trenton, our tracker, is here in the commentary room too. Trenton, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you're out there and you want to say something, now's your chance. And thank you for your amazing tracking work tonight.
Something. On a serious note, always thank you to Speed Gaming. They've been so great to work with through the tournament, and it's exciting to see these events go on. Real quick, A-Dog is now on Chaos, so he's got just his black belt, but might be our next finisher. Really exciting to see so many people come out for this tournament. Like you said, biggest turnout we've ever had. And everybody should take some encouragement out here. Yeah, Tristol killed it. Several of our runners really killed it, but obviously there was a lot of room to finish in the top half of this seed if you just approached it well, got your strategy, worked it out. And several runners have done that. The reason we don't have more finished, I think, is because they went out and grinded, because that's what they thought they needed. So find your way to work and refine your strategy over time. You'll get better. Don't ever be scared of these things. If it looks fun to you at all, come join us on the Discord. You'll get races all the time, and it's a lot of fun.
That was very true. And we'll hand it over to Tristol.
I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. I'm psyched for this to have been the biggest Final Fantasy Randomizer race ever. That's super awesome. I'm glad to see this community coming together. If you're interested in this, join the Discord. The links are popping up in chat everywhere. There's so much useful information in the Discord, lots of people to answer questions. Don't be afraid to just play with the randomizer, even if you never join a tournament race or anything like that. Just play around with it and have some fun with it, and hope you enjoy yourselves. And thanks once again to the commentary. Everybody does a wonderful job setting everything up and lets us all show off what we love best. So thanks again, everybody.
And thank you to everybody in chat for hanging out with us. And everybody have a great 2018, great new year, and we will see you again shortly.